My name is Bradford Shellhammer, and I am the founder and chief design officer of Fab.com. Fab is a global company that sells design products across every category, every price point, in 18 different countries. There are three things that designers and or brands or artists need to embody to be considered and find a home on Fab. One is authenticity. Is it an original design? Is there something true about, you know, the concept, the illustration? I mean, is there a story of authenticity? Now, it doesn't have to be, not everyone has to be Roy Lichtenstein or Andy Warhol or Alvar Aalto. I mean, it can be someone who just makes a really good freaking coffee mug. Number two is we oftentimes look for color and humor. There's too much gray in the world, there's too much brown, there's too much beige, there's too much black. Not that we don't love those colors, but it can't be all the same. And too many times retailers play it safe. And so there has to be a sense of color or some kind of interesting material, pattern, texture, something that's just not, this isn't just a boring thing. And then lastly, it's like, does the person who made the product have a story? Hard for us to, you know, we get inundated every day with you know, distributors and manufacturers who want to just, you know, we have a bunch of these things to sell, and we're like, well, who made the things? Where did they come from? Well, no one can answer those questions. We're not going to go near it. We have 200 employees in New York. A year ago, we had 18. I often say that Fab in New York is like the land of misfit toys from that cartoon. It's like where everyone who was really talented and weird and funny and courageous and never fit in at any other kind of corporate gig all got together and started their own thing. That's Fab. I think the most important piece of advice I'd have for other entrepreneurs, or really anyone, is you know, Fab was born out of another business that was a failed business. My business partner Jason and I, our CEO, and the other founder of the company, you know, we did a completely other company for a year, and we were failing. And over several dinners and several bottles of wine, we had some money in the bank. We had raised some money. We almost spent it all. We looked each other in the eye and said, "Hey, what can we do better than anyone else?" It was that simple. And we just said, well, it's not what we're doing now. It's design, both of us. You know, me, my whole love has been people who make things, physical products, goods, artists, designers, rug makers, manufacturers, ceramicists, whatever it is. And Jason is obsessed with designing user experiences online. So, I mean, we both had the same answer to the same question. It seemed very simple. I think, shouldn't all businesses be built on what could you do better than anyone else in the world? The one that sticks with me the earliest is in 1984, for Christmas, my Uncle Brent gave me Cyndi Lauper's She's So Unusual LP. And it was a really defining moment in my life, and I don't want to trivialize it because it actually was, and still to this day, I listen to the album and I look at the album cover all the time and I'm like, this woman changed my life. She was a freak, and it was like freedom to just be a freak. That's, and it wasn't a costume, it was pretty legit. And it also inspired me to, you know, come to New York. I mean, that was the first thing that I remember. You know, she's standing in the Bronx on the album cover, and you know, I knew I had to go to New York from a very early age. You know, it's finding Cyndi Lauper led me to finding Andy Warhol. You know, and I read his books, all of them over and over again. I read the diaries over and over again, and I'm like, I need to be in New York. So very early on, those were kind of Andy Warhol, Cyndi Lauper. They kind of said, be a freak, go to New York. The people who have said, I'm risking everything. I'm going to risk financial stability. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to design products. I'm going to make something with my hands. To hear them say, you've allowed me to hire an assistant. You got me out of credit card debt. You kept the lights on in my studio. I mean, these are very common things that I get to hear every day. And there's nothing that's been, you know, more powerful over the last year than those kind of stories. design is too often, I think, put in a little special box and with a key locked, and only those in the know, or those with money, or those with education, or with a designer, an architect can afford it and or touch and feel it, and we want to just knock down those walls. I see the emotional reaction and attachment to fab. I don't necessarily see the day-to-day mechanics of how the business will run. But I do see fab being a brand that everyone knows, that most people love, some people might not, that's okay. And I see when people think of design, they think of fab. And when they're looking to buy something that's not something you'd buy at Target or Walmart or Amazon, that they turn to fab to buy it. You know, do I see our own brick and mortar stores? Yeah, I would love to. I think our products, if you look at our office, you look at my home, they lend themselves to being displayed together in a physical. But are we rushing to do that now? No. Do I see us in Brazil, in India, in Turkey? Yes. I don't know how quickly that will happen. But I definitely see a need for fab in the world. I think there needs to be a place where people who want something special are connected with people who make things special.